Hey guys, it's Taylor, and welcome to Top 5 Wednesday. This tag was created by Lainey over at Ginger Reads Lainey, however it's now run by Sam over at Thoughts on Tomes. I will leave the Goodreads link down in the description below. So today's topic is top 5 books that you feel differently about. So that means when you read them you felt one thing, basically, and then maybe as you come to think on it or, read it again, you feel completely different about them. So, without further ado, let's get started. The first book I have is actually more of a series, and that series is Animorphs by K.A. Applegate. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I read it, loved it, and then I thought on it and I hated it. But actually, I read it when I was a kid, loved it, but now that I'm an adult, I love it even more. I realized that these books deal with so many difficult topics that a lot of other children's books at the time would not have dealt with, including slavery, war, genocide, racism. You have kids killing other people and wondering, even if these are the bad guys, or if they're slaves to the bad guys, does that justify it? Do the ends justify the means? And that is such a powerful message for a kid's book. And honestly, I recommend everyone to read the Animorphs series. The first couple books are a bit shaky, but as the series progresses, it gets better and better and better. And I'm probably going to start planning a reread of this series eventually because the books are pretty short. This book that I'm holding up here, number 46, The Deception, is about 115 pages. That's a really quick read. I could finish this in a day. So yeah, I totally feel different about these. As time has progressed, my feelings for the Animorphs book series has only gotten stronger. The next book I have is The Wrath in the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. When I read this the first time, I gave this about 4 out of 5 stars because I thought it was good and not great. But the more I think on it, on the beautiful writing style, on the absolutely endearing relationship between Sherazad and Khalid, between all of the amazing characters that I have grown to love, I kind of want to go back to Goodreads and give this a 5 out of 5 stars. It's a great book. Is it perfect? No. But I don't need perfection from my books to warrant giving them a 5-star. And I don't want to become too picky or cynical because I flew through this book in like 3 days, which is pretty fast for me. So yeah, maybe I'll go back on Goodreads and change that. The next book I've got is the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. And this is basically the same type of thing I was talking about earlier with my Animorphs review. It's not that, like, as I was going through the books again as an adult, the books seemed really weird or cheesy or awful. No, they get better and better. And looking at it through not just an adult's point of view, but as a critic and an English major's point of view, you notice things you had never seen before and things that you hadn't recognized. Like, for example, did you know that Harry Potter is a Jesus Christ figure? I didn't know this. And it wasn't until I was reading it, and then I watched a review by Jill Barup over at Sursum Ursa, which maybe I'll leave the link to her Harry Potter series down below. They're really great. But once you start noticing the Christian allegory in the books, it's hard to not notice it. And before anyone says that, maybe I'm reading into it too much or I'm letting my own background or personal beliefs get in the way of reading Harry Potter, this isn't just reading into it too much. J.K. Rowling herself has even gone on the record to say that Harry Potter is, in fact, closely tied with her faith and her beliefs. So this isn't just me, this is what I realize. And when you go back and you read the symbols and, a lot of the other themes, not just the religious themes, but the themes of motherhood and the themes of always doing the right thing, even if it's hard, these are great books for kids. And I'm so happy that as an adult, I am getting the chance to listen to them again on audiobook because they have filled me with the joy that I never would have gotten if I just hadn't reread the Harry Potter books when I did. And, hopefully I'll get to reread them soon with the actual books and not audiobook. But yeah, I totally feel different about these. My feelings as the years have gone on for Harry Potter have only gotten stronger. Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. Once again, and I've been talking about this a lot recently, so maybe I will post a full-on review of the book and the movie somewhere once I have time to actually sit down and write the essay that I've been wanting to. But this book I liked. But when I first started reading this book, I loved it. I thought the writing style was quirky and fun. I thought Louisa was adorable. and then I saw the movie. The movie did everything 10 times better by taking out plot lines that I really hated in the context of this book. I'm not going to spoil anything, but yeah. So once I saw the movie, and after I saw it and had time to reflect on it, and I went back to reading Me Before You, my feelings on it changed mid-book drastically. It's not that I hated it, it was just kind of a slog to get through because the movie was fast-paced. I really believed the chemistry between Lou and Will, even though, and while, in the books I can kind of see why they'd get together, it seemed to me more like Florence Nightingale syndrome. And I honestly couldn't really see why Will was into Lou. She didn't particularly seem bubbly, like in the movie, and she didn't really seem that full of life. She seemed kind of sad and someone to be pitied. Whereas in the movie, Sam Claflin and Emilia Clarke have excellent chemistry, and it totally outdid the book in droves. So yeah, not my least favorite book, but a book not my least favorite book, but a book that my opinion drastically changed on while reading. So yeah. And the final book that I changed my mind on was To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. And once again, this is the same situation as Harry Potter and Animorphs. And as you can tell from this really beat-up copy, this is one of my all-time favorite books. It's a book that I feel like everyone should read, especially nowadays with everything going on in the world. But yeah, when I first read this book, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good read. And I read it for the first time in the 8th grade, then I read it in 10th grade, and then I reread it again my senior year of high school. And I think this definitely deserves another reread. This is probably one of the greatest books ever written. I absolutely love it. It's so dear to my heart. It's so close to me. And it's a book that as I get older and as I become more and more aware of the world around me, this book becomes more and more relevant. So yeah, it's basically the same as Harry Potter and Animorphs. The older I get and the more I can reflect on this book, a book that I thought was good when I read it when I was younger, but as I get older I realize is actually great, and one of the greatest pieces of literature I think is out there. So yeah, I highly recommend to anyone who hasn't read To Kill a Mockingbird to read it. These are the top 5 books I feel differently about. I hope you like this video, and if you want, you can like, comment, and subscribe. Please tell me down below in the comment section what are some of the books that you feel differently about nowadays. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video later. Bye!